One small, seemingly insignificant sign. That is literally all it took to turn a hopeless, dead-end situation into a full-blown miracle. You are about to hear exactly how it happened. Have you ever seen a sign that was so perfect, so impossibly specific, it sent a shiver straight down your spine? Maybe a feather mysteriously appearing on your path right when you were about to make a life-altering decision? Or seeing the exact same sequence of numbers popping up everywhere you look? Like a glitch in the Matrix? For the people in the stories we are about to share, what started as a weird coincidence became the single biggest turning point of their entire existence. These stories challenge how we see reality. They invite us to imagine a world that is a little more magical, a little more connected, and a lot more meaningful than we are taught to believe. Today, we are exploring real-life accounts of people who experienced exactly that. These aren't just spooky tales. They are powerful case studies of how a single, unbelievable moment can shift a human destiny, leading to deep healing, new purpose, and the undeniable feeling that we are not alone. Before we dive into these lives, let's talk about the mechanism. What is a sign? For some, it is simple: divine guidance. It's God, the universe, or angels leaving breadcrumbs. For others, the answer is psychological. The great Carl Jung called it synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence where there is no physical cause, but the meaning is so profound it shakes you. Skeptics will point to the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, where you learn a new word and suddenly see it everywhere because your brain is primed for it. They will talk about confirmation bias, and they are right to do so. These psychological mechanisms are real, but this video isn't about proving science wrong or religion right. It is about the human experience where these two worlds collide. Because whether a sign is a message from heaven or a trick of your pattern-seeking brain, the transformative effect on the person's life is undeniably, objectively real. These stories are about the feeling of being seen by the universe and the courage that feeling unlocks. Let's start with Clara. Clara was standing at a crossroads that many of you might recognize. For years, she had this quiet, burning dream of opening a small, independent bookstore. Not just a shop, but a sanctuary. A community hub with worn armchairs and the smell of old paper. But in the cold light of reality, Clara was being crushed by pressure. Her family wanted her to take a high-paying, soul-sucking marketing job. "It's the smart thing to do," they said. The job offer sat on her desk like a ticking time bomb. Her mind was a war zone. Logic told her to take the money, but a quieter whisper begged her not to let her soul die. One afternoon, paralyzed by the fear of failure, she walked to a gritty city park. She sat on a bench, closed her eyes, and in a moment of total desperation, she whispered to the gray sky, "Please, just give me a sign, a clear sign. Tell me what to do." She opened her eyes. Nothing, just traffic and concrete. She sighed, feeling foolish. And then it happened. A single, pristine white feather spiraled down from the sky, drifting through the dead air, and landed perfectly on the toe of her shoe. She froze. There were no birds, no trees directly above her. Her logical brain screamed, "It's just a feather!" But her soul recognized the language. She remembered her grandmother saying a white feather was a message from guardian angels. You are safe. That feather didn't write a business plan. It didn't put money in the bank. But it did something more important. It broke her fear. It gave her permission to trust herself. She went home, declined the corporate job, and started building The Page and the Poet. 2 years later, that shop is the heart of her neighborhood. The feather wasn't magic. It was the key that unlocked her own courage. Then there is Ben. Unlike Clara, Ben wasn't looking for a sign. Ben was a data analyst who worshipped logic and spreadsheets. He was the last person on earth to believe in woo-woo spirituality. But Ben was dying inside. He was stuck in a toxic job, drowning in debt, living a life of quiet desperation. He saw no way out. Then the numbers started. 444. It began small. He'd glance at the clock. 444. $444. A license plate. 444. At first, he ignored it. Then he got annoyed. Then it got weird. On a conference call, he looked down at his notebook and realized he had unconsciously drawn 3 boxes with the number 4 in them. That night, out of pure frustration, he Googled spiritual meaning of 4444. The results made him scoff. Angel numbers, they said. Protection. Guidance. He felt none of that. He felt alone and trapped. But the clash, the massive gap between the sign's message of support and his reality of misery, broke something open in his brain. It forced him to ask, what if the path I'm on is the wrong one? The numbers acted like a cosmic alarm clock he couldn't snooze. Ben didn't quit his job the next day. He used his logic. He made a spreadsheet for an exit plan. He revived his old passion for woodworking. He started selling furniture on weekends. The numbers kept appearing, but now they felt like a nod of approval. Today, Ben is a full-time woodworker, happier than he has ever been. For Ben, the sign wasn't a command. It was a mirror forcing him to face his own unhappiness. And sometimes, signs are people. This is the story of Maria. Maria was in the deepest pit of her life. She had just lost her younger brother in a tragic accident. Her grief was a physical weight, but it was tangled with agonizing guilt. Their last conversation had been a stupid argument. She was tortured by the "I love yous" she never said. One autumn day, she was sobbing on a park bench, completely broken. An elderly woman sat down at the other end. She didn't speak for a long time. She just held the space. Finally, the woman turned and said 5 words that would rewrite Maria's future. He knows you love him. It's okay to let go of the pain, but not the love. Maria stopped breathing. The words were so specific, so surgical. It was as if this stranger had read her diary. Before Maria could ask how she knew, the woman smiled and walked away. Maria never saw her again. Was she an angel? Was she just an empathetic stranger? It doesn't matter. The message was delivered. That moment gave Maria permission to forgive herself. She went on to found a support group for grieving siblings, turning her pain into a lighthouse for others. Now, we need to be careful here. It is easy to fall into survivorship bias. We hear the stories where the sign led to success. We don't hear the ones where it didn't. A sign is never a substitute for personal responsibility. It is not a financial plan. It is not an excuse to be reckless. And while quantum physics is fascinating, we can't just claim these signs are scientific fact. So what is the healthy approach? Think of a sign not as an order, but as an invitation. It is an invitation to pause, to check in with your gut, and to ask, is this the universe giving me a nudge? The sign is the spark. The fire is your action. I know there are thousands of stories like this out there. Maybe you have one. A moment where the impossible happened and changed your trajectory. I want to read it. Put it in the comments below. Let's remind each other that magic is real. The universe is not just happening to you. It is happening with you. It is a dialogue. The signs are everywhere. The only question is, are you ready to open your eyes?